Channeling different emotions or different aesthetics when you're getting dressed can be a really helpful way to build out your outfit, so you can harness one thing or another depending on your mood. So in today's video, I want to go over how you can go about building winter outfits that specifically tap into a kind of ethereal or dreamy quality, and then likewise something that's a little bit more romantic. So hopefully these tips can be helpful as you build out your own outfits, and that's the type of direction you want to take them. Now before we hop into it though, I want to thank Sezane for sponsoring today's video. We're working together, so I'm going to link everything that I'm styling down below. Some things I've been gifted, some I purchased myself, and I will include sizing and color information in case anything catches your eye. So let's get started. So the first style element that I want to talk about when you're building out your outfits, and if your objective is to build an outfit that feels a little bit dreamy, a little ethereal, or a little bit romantic, is to keep in mind the way that color plays. So color tells very strong emotions, and as you start to get dressed, you can channel that for a different effect. So generally speaking, if you want things to feel lighter and brighter and more dreamlike and kind of more like a cloud, you're going to go for lighter colors. So if you think of color in a spectrum, jet black all the way to bright white, stay towards the bright white, and all those beautiful variations within there are going to give you that general impression. So white, off-white, gray is really, really beautiful for this and a little bit more unexpected. And then another easy thing to do when you're trying to get dressed with this objective in mind is to keep your color cohesive from top to bottom. So rather than color blocking your outfit, you would go for white and white. So you wouldn't pair this sweater, for example, with a pair of black pants, and instead you would go for something light. So today I've done white, and they match so well, and that type of cohesion allows our eye to travel without interruption from top to toe. And whenever that happens, it's very calming. Also within this, you might want to play around with brown accessories and brown shoes, because the color brown can be a little bit more unexpected when it comes to these pieces. And then also, especially in the winter time, it's a really beautiful way to play off of that white. The next style element that I want to talk about is shoes. And when it comes to building outfits that have that dreamlike, ethereal, or a little bit more romantic feeling to them, your shoes are going to go a really long way in making that happen. So in the last outfit, I wore a pointed toe, and I did that to kind of juxtapose the whole outfit. But generally speaking, if you're trying to harness a softer feeling, going for things that are rounded in their shape or a little bit more oval, that's always going to do it for you. So the touches in this sweater, for example, they're all really delicate and rounded in their shape. And then my jewelry, likewise, they're all very round or slightly oval silhouettes. And then with my shoes, going for something that has a rounded toe is going to perfectly balance all of that, especially when it's also in a color brown like we talked about. So also with this outfit, I changed into jeans, and if you wanted to do that for your own outfit, going for something that's a mid-wash to kind of like a lighter wash, I wouldn't go super dark denim because you're going to create that contrast again. That's going to give you a really balanced look and make it all really cohesive again. So definitely something to play around with. And if you do want to go for maybe a more pointed toe in your shoes, and you want to still really lean into that soft, effortless feeling, going for something with a low heel is a great way to do that. And then also something in a lighter color. Those two things will help balance out the pointed toe and allow it to be, again, really cohesive and tell that very clear story. So for this next outfit, I want to build on what we've just talked about. So we're going to go over color again, and then also the details that we mentioned, and then finish that off with the shoes. So for the color, just like you can lighten things up and go for lighter colors, you can also lean into colors that feel very romantic. So those are going to be things like your reds, your pinks, your burgundies, maroons, and everything that falls kind of within that rosy spectrum. And then also along that, anything that's like really bright red is going to feel a little bit more intense than something softer like this and this sweater and kind of like a rosewood color. So if you want things to feel a little bit more innocent rather than intense, going for something like a pink or some version of a pink like this is a really easy way to do that. And you can use that to channel the energy that you're looking for. So then when we tie it back to also, again, those details, this sweater has all of those little touches that I was mentioning before. So you've got rounded edges, a little bit of a scallop detail, really delicate little touches. The jewelry, again, being in those rounded shapes and things that glisten and sparkle. Mother of pearl and pearl generally kind of give off that effect. So wearing them together helps to tell that story even further. And then when you color block, like the way that I've done with shades that are really similar, so this pinkish color but then kind of like a really rich burgundy pant, that lessens the intensity of it and makes it feel really cohesive, but again, with all in that same story. And then when we tie in the shoes, I've gone for something with a little bit of a pointed toe, but the pattern and the color is really delicate and soft. So they juxtapose each other in a really nice way. And then of course a brown bag. And it ties together in a way that's really, really nice. And I think this would be a really great Valentine's Day outfit, or something that you kind of really want to really heavily lean into that feeling, but still make it wearable and comfortable because it's a sweater and pants. So it's not something too exposed or too uncomfortable in any way. Another great way to style a sweater like this that speaks so heavily into those romantic colors and then the little soft touches and details is to juxtapose that with denim. And it's a really great way to kind of dress it down. But keeping in mind everything that we've talked about and wanting that contrast to be a little bit lower, I would go for something that's like a light or a mid-wash denim. In the case of this sweater, I think mid-wash looks really, really great with it. And then going for a longer length is also really complementary because the proportions start to play really well together. And there's something about the longer length in the jeans that kind of offsets the pointed toe in the boots. So you can still go for that pointed toe, and it's got the animal print on it and again that sharp detailing. But because it's in the brown and then it's kind of softened by the longer pants, it goes really well and I think it blends really beautifully. And it's an easy way to kind of dress it all down, but still keep it feeling a little bit special. And then for jewelry, I've got the same that I've been wearing, but I swapped out the mother of pearl signet for the rosy colored signet that I have here. This color matches so perfectly to the sweater, and it takes your eye back to the color of the sweater and then makes it, again, very well rounded. And just from top to toe, everything feels like it belongs together. In addition to choosing those lighter fabrics, those softer colors, and then the small little touches and details, you can also replicate this type of thinking within your pattern. So generally speaking, things that are going to be floral or again more rounded in shape, that's going to lend itself really nicely to this type of dressing. And then also if you wanted to keep the color palette a little bit softer, that's going to push it forward even more. So for this outfit, I've taken a really beautiful delicate top. It's got a lot of detailing to it and a lot of those details that really speak to this kind of more romantic type dressing. It's got the really beautiful collar, really delicate little buttons, the really pretty pattern on here, and the floral are really small, and the color scheme is also really, really soft. Everything kind of blends together really nicely. So something that's going to be longer, again, the same type of thinking as the other outfit, is really great because it allows for the pointed toe boots. And I really like how these look with this outfit because this color is also replicated in the pattern of the shirt. Everything comes together really nicely, and it's a very accessible way to, again, bring some of that into your outfit, but do so in a way that's not over the top. So you can kind of lean into it on those days when you're wanting a touch of it, but you don't want to be like full out in pink or red or some of the other things that we've talked about. This is a nice happy medium, and I also think this outfit translates really nicely as you move into spring. This would be really beautiful with a light trench coat, a light jacket like that, and you could even swap out your shoes as it starts to get warmer, maybe go for an espadrille, and then of course add shorts to this top. It would be beautiful. It's incredibly versatile as it kind of transcends into different seasons. So now let's say you still wanted to build out an outfit that includes what we've talked about, but you wanted to include black or black pieces within your outfit. So this is something that I do a lot because I love the color black and I wear it a lot, and because my hair is so dark, it automatically creates that cohesion in my outfit because I'm able to repeat that color. So if you are in a similar situation, or maybe you just want to wear the color black that day, but you still want to harness some of what we've talked about, you can do so by keeping everything else in mind. So going for really light, soft, delicate textures, things like this sweater, it's really soft to the touch. And then things like suede rather than a patent leather for your shoes or your accessories, that would be a really great way to do that as well. And keeping things a little bit billowy and a little bit plush feeling. So this sweater has a really beautiful billowy detail on the sleeve, and it cinches at the waist, and that is a really gorgeous shape, and it helps soften everything. And then also, because I wanted to wear black bottoms and black shoes, but I didn't want it to feel too stark, I went for brown rather than white. So if I were to have gone for maybe a white or an off-white sweater, the color blocking would have been a lot more intense, and as a result you would have gotten a more impactful look, and it would have broken the line a little bit more than what I've got here. So by going for brown, I'm able to kind of soften that a little bit, and then the brown detail on the belt helps tie that all together. And then also by keeping the jewelry in very rounded shapes as well, so I've got those little hoops that I've been wearing throughout, and then the pendants on the necklaces are rounded in shape, and the mother of pearl touches, that all lightens everything up and again incorporates those elements. So here we've got maybe 1 or 2 touches rather than a whole outfit like the one that we just did. And it can be a really nice way to bring some of that feeling into outfits that are functional and practical. And then also another note about the shoes, instead of a pointed toe, I've chosen these that have the rounded toe because they are so tall, and it's a really kind of a lot of a block of color down at my feet. By keeping the toe rounded, and then by going for suede rather than something really shiny or patent leather, and also keeping the heel from being too thin and too sharp, those all contribute to a boot that feels a little bit softer considering it is a tall black boot. And then of course you can always pair a sweater like this with a great pair of jeans, and keeping in that black theme, I went with a pair of kind of like off black jeans, and I think this balance together goes really, really nicely. The denim by itself dresses it down, but then when you add a belt, it kind of dresses it back up again, and you've got that constant play of like casual, formal, and different textures all working together. And then also going for the slight crop allows for these suede boots to really shine. And again, that black color repeated, but then the suede offsetting it a little bit. And it's just really nice all together, especially with the jewelry to kind of lighten it up. And then if you wanted to, you could add a leather jacket to this, and I think a traditional moto style is perfect for something like this because it juxtaposes the sweater really beautifully. So if maybe you're not really sure if you like this type of dressing or these type of touches, and the kind of more romantic, frilly, and softer things aren't really what you typically go for, but maybe you want to experiment a little bit, adding a leather jacket on top is a great way to balance it out. So for this next outfit, I wanted to style a shirt that had a lot of those little details and those little touches to it, but it removed the pattern. And I find this to be a really easy way to start incorporating different aesthetics into your outfit, because when you remove color, you remove emotion. So by starting with a blank slate and going for a white shirt, you have a lot of flexibility in how you can style it. So by choosing a pair of jeans that are almost gray rather than black, you allow for a really nice balanced outfit. And it blends really seamlessly with the detailing in the shirt, and then of course the color. It creates less of a color block, but it's still impactful. And it's also a really easy way to then wear brown shoes. So much like I talked about, going for the longer length and then the pointed toe, it helps softens it. And then also the brown color by itself. And you can also really easily start to build on this as an outfit base. Not only are the colors really easy to work with, but also the pieces. They're very accessible. So you can definitely throw a jacket on, and I think a leather jacket is such a nice way to balance this out. So to keep it in the brown family, and again keep that contrast relatively low, I would go for a brown. And a brown leather jacket, especially if you were to find something in suede, that would be so gorgeous, and that softer texture would help soften it even further. And then if I instead wanted to do a black leather jacket, I could definitely do a moto style. That would work so beautifully and bring in a whole nother element to this. But I also really love the idea of going for something cropped. Going for a smaller silhouette like that balances everything really nicely. And also if you can find one that has like a little collar on it, that's really nice. And a little collar like that brings in that rounded shape and further enhances it, so it softens the black effect. So for the shoes, I did black suede ankle boots, and that again is such a nice way to kind of bring it all together and create an outfit that's a little bit soft but still leans into those accessible pieces and those colors that are really easy to wear every single day. So those are some of the style elements that you can tap into in order to achieve outfits that are a little bit romantic or kind of ethereal and dreamy. And it's a really fun way to start to build out your style, because once you understand kind of the emotion that certain colors, shapes, and textures can really give your outfit, you can tap into them in different levels and then really create outfits that are perfectly in line with how you feel. So I hope that these can be helpful the next time you're putting together your own winter outfits. And like I said, I'm going to link everything down below. I'll put sizing and then color information in case anything caught your eye. And then thank you to Sezane again for sponsoring today's video. And thank you, of course, for watching it. And I will see you in my next one. Have a great day.